What's up guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy, where today we will be looking at Spring Sweet Spring 3 playoffs. So, last stage of this edition of a Spring Sweet Spring, we have invited teams Skade, Entropic, Complexity and Furia. Very good invited teams. We've a lot of times we've seen kind of these here like supposedly good teams that have recently done very poorly get invited, but I think teams like Entropic and Complexity and Furia especially are really good, in really good form. I think Skade are in a bit of worse form recently. Like they hit a really good form. Yeah, like look at this. They're losing the teams they shouldn't be losing to. They used to, like look at this. They are really in a rough patch here. They used to have this 6 streak of just not losing games. Yeah, here is the 6 streak lasting towards the end of April, but then afterwards it's been more turbulent. Let's put it that way. And that is definitely, you can see that in, for example, the price of players like Ships and Oxygen maybe as well. Rainwaker also used to have used to be a lot more expensive, but they're cheaper now. The other teams, I think Complexity, this is like a tier above where they usually play, so I would say Complexity are a good pick. Entropic, well, how good have Entropic been recently? I need to kind of check that out. They are probably usually winning, but yeah, like you would expect them to usually win against these teams. But losing to Northwind, Hyenas here and there. Yeah, you can see the level of teams they're beating. Okay, Fiend is a good team. That's a great result. But it's a while back, right? Already 2 weeks, and 2 weeks ago is not always corresponding of current form. What about Furia then? I'll check some of the teams where I think it's interesting to see how they have recently done. Furia are losing to Liquid a couple of times, losing to Big. These are good teams. Losing to Oplano is questionable, but I think this is still back when they had Junior, yeah. Nowadays they have Honda, who is, well, cheap, mostly because Honda has not been doing too good in the recent matches, like the matches that he played recently. They're still definitely not performing well for Furia, like you can see here. When we look at his first games, right, he had like a couple aces, if I remember correctly. He had like, was it like 2 aces, but didn't do pretty much anything other than that. So it's interesting to see how he will fit into this team now. But yeah, I think the invited teams, like a lot of the time in these, I have been a big advocate of picking the round of 16 teams, because usually the round of 16 teams have been I would almost say better than quarterfinals teams, like invited teams. I remember at least like who was it? It was Fnatic who was invited and they just bombed out. Let's go out actually look at the event, like Spring Sweet Spring 2 and 1, for example. So the invited teams, well, OG here was invited, which is great, but Fnatic was invited, Force was invited, they didn't do too well. Big was invited but got beaten by Entropic. No, wait, the other way around. Actually, Big got to the finals here. Round 1 done. So ENCE invited, Fnatic invited but didn't get to the finals. Spirit invited and Furia invited. None of the invited teams got to the finals. What about Snow Sweet Snows then? Like, you can see this kind of trend where the invited teams are just not as good as they're supposed to be. Okay, here Mouse won. I remember this. But Fnatic gets destroyed by Mouse, but that's fine. But Havu invited, didn't do too well. EG actually got further here than I would have expected, but I mean, they're doing fine, these invited teams, but maybe not quite up to the level that they should. But in this scenario, I think the invited teams are a bit better than the qualified teams. Which of the qualified teams do I think are like the best? I think Fiend is a great pick. Fiend is a good team right now. They are they're usually beating this level of opposition, like Extremum. But will they do well against Complexity? I don't really think so. They could upset Complexity, definitely. Even Extremum could upset Complexity. But yeah, we'll have to see. I wouldn't put too much money on Flames or Sharks because Entropic are waiting for them. Skade could definitely be upset by Ago or Endpoint. I wouldn't even call it that much of an upset. I think I'm probably picking Entropic and either Complexity or Furia, and then someone from Endpoint or Ago. How would that look? So if I want to go Furia, I probably am picking Honda. It'd look Honda and Alien then to kind of balance it out. That's the reason you're picking Honda. And just hope that he has some good maps. I would assume he's one of the most picked players. Alongside a Config. Config, how cheap is Config? 214. Config had like some pretty good performances lately, right? Look at the last few. Yeah. Pretty good. Definitely pretty good. Rush is also an interesting pick in my opinion. If you go Complexity, I would probably pick Rush. Because he's I would say he's probably more likely to do some stuff against this tier of opposition. Like he is usually playing against these G2 Gambit NIP FPX teams, and that's where he's really struggling. But I wouldn't expect him to struggle against like Sprout. He isn't even a Vitality here, but Sprout again is doing pretty good. Fnatic, well, that's not nice to see, but you can see that he's playing against such a high tier of opposition most of the time because Complexity are a really good team. So yeah, Rush is definitely a player who can do a lot better against this lower tier. He's picked quite a bit. If you go Fury, I guess you do want to go Art because you want to have his entry frag stats, and also he can kind of just do really well. So we have 200 grand exactly. One Entropic guy and one. Is it then Endpoint or Ago? Have Endpoint and Ago played each other lately? Endpoint doesn't seem like they've played each other. So here, May 18th. It's about a month ago, just over a month ago, Ago 2-0 Endpoint. What does the ranking say right now? Endpoint 26, Ago 37. I guess over a month ago might have been without like Mizzy. I would probably gamble on Endpoint rather than Ago here. Mizzy has some great stats. You might want to go Crucial as op. And then Alien as like CT rating, sorry. Can we afford? We can't quite afford any of these guys. So then it can't be Crucial, unfortunately. So like Thomas then? Thomas we can afford Nickelback. I'm not sure if I like that much. If you go Surreal, I'm guessing you can get pretty much anyone. Yeah, you can get even Forest. You can get Forrester. Forrester is putting up the best stats out of like the non-alien players. This is not a bad idea. The question is, what do you put on Surreal? Like, what does he bring to the table in terms of roles? because like with this, it's obviously Alien Op, Art Entry, then Honda IGL, I would say, or Forester IGL. Probably Honda IGL. Then Forester E-rating and Surreal something. But the question becomes what is that something for Surreal? Alternatively, can we go for like if we're gonna go like Entropic, because I do think Entropic are gonna make it to the finals from this side. So Entropic and like Complexity. You could go Rush, Poison, or maybe even JKS. JKS is putting up better stats all of a sudden, I think. Maybe, can you even afford... I don't think you can afford config. Ooh, wait, what if you go like Honda and then one of these guys, and then you can go even, instead of config, you can go Blame Nickelback. Is this even good enough? Like, it's better than... No, I can't afford any of them. Not quite. Grand off. I don't go config. Tough, isn't it? So I don't want to leave 4K in the bank. 4K is a fair bit of cash. Honda is probably the cheapest guy in the everything. Yeah, I think Honda has to be worth it because he has such a solid support group behind him. But I do like my idea of picking someone from Endpoint, because I think they're gonna make it to the semifinals. So then I wouldn't go Alien probably. So it would be... So one guy from... I think if I want to go one guy from Endpoint, I do love going Crucial. I think he's someone who's kind of underrated in terms of his cost. I think he can definitely be better than his cost would let you believe. Then you go probably like Crad Nickelback, Crucial, and then can you go Blame Rush? How much off are we? So close to Blame Rush. You can't go you can go Config Rush, but that's kind of bad. Can you go Poison JKS? You can go Poison JKS. This is not a bad team either. I don't think this is bad at all. Honestly, I kind of like this. How do rolls go though? Because again, we have two Oppers. We can go Op on either of them. Probably Op Crucial with CT rating Poison. Right? And then support on JKS. IGL on Nickelback, and Crad. Crad just has something. Becomes roll-wise a nightmare again. Having like Forester is so nice because of the T rating being so high. Nickelback has decent support round stats. Crad is such a, like, I think Crad has great potential in terms of just overall ratings, but no standout statistics is always a bit of a gamble. So close to this. Oh man, it seems like everything is just so close and just doesn't quite work out. If I could get the config rush with these guys, man, that would be nice. Complexities may be a bit overpicked. I'm not sure if they're gonna play that much here. I think it might be a Furia event where they kind of just wanna come in and do well. I can't get Alien quite yet, right? Yeah, 2 grand off. I wouldn't want to pick like a Vini over Art, even though it lets me get like a bit of a more expensive guy here. I do like the idea of going like Alien, Forrester, Honda, Art, and someone. 188. With this with Surreal. Is this what I was looking at earlier? I'm not quite sure. Either way, yeah, T rating Forrester Alien. This is the same I was looking at earlier. Again, like, what do I put on Surreal though? Anonymous guys. Not really a good idea. A Fiend guy could be good. Could go for a Fiend guy, but that's only bubble with this amount of money, so that's not good. What about Mighty Max? With like support? Can we afford someone better than someone else? Like someone better than Art? Not really. 11k, we're not leaving 11k in the bank, of course. How is this not enough? 1 grand off Yuri. Man, everything is so close. Rush leaves me with 14, so we could go Yuri here. But again, like, Yuri isn't that much better than Art. That's a great CT rating. But I don't think it's worth it like this. I'd rather go with Art and Surreal, I believe. Man, this is really hard right now. Alien is so nice to have in these, because he can really, really light up the server. Fiend is a decent pick as well. If you just go like Bubble, Dreamer, Honda. Can't get Bubble, Dreamer, Honda, but you can get Add Honda. This is also kind of looking nice. Role wise, we have Op, E-rating, Stat Hunter, something like that. IGL Crad. Oh man, what the hell do you put on Honda? The idea with Honda is kind of, you want to go IGL Honda with 2 Furia. Otherwise, it's so bad. Can I check like other people's teams already? I don't want to create a league. I want to go check. Yeah, I can check teams here. Honda with leader, yeah. But why are you going IGL with? I don't like that. What out here? Non-Honda. Also a non-Honda. Kind of nice looking team. Not gonna lie. Israel Art, JKS, Mighty Max. Again, it's like an IGL though. I don't understand that IGL thing. When you don't have 2 guys of the same team. So you want to have IGL on a team that you expect to do well, right? Is Entropic even the pick? Man, I'm really pondering on this long. It's just because I feel like there's a really good team out there for this event, and I just want to find it. Furia, you can't go Furia and Complexity also, because they're on the freaking same side. I would probably go Furia Complexity here because Blame is such a nicely costed star player in comparison to like Alien. Is Fiend the pick? Is Fiend just nuts? I don't think. I think Entropic is still like your I want to win pick. 202 grand. Oh yeah, it's 2 grand off Crucial. That was the problem. That was the problem all along. With like this, we could get Thomas. So how bad is this? What do you put in Thomas? T rating maybe. Can't quite get a crad. So this would be IGL entry. Op, support, and I guess T. I think this is the team I want to go with. This has a lot of the pieces I want. I want Alien and Honda, because I feel like Honda still has potential to kind of show up on this kind of stage, at least in comparison to his price. Alien is still such a great player. Art with entry. I like this. I'm gonna go with this. That was IGL. I'm gonna have so much fun with the second pick as well, like the second account as well. Support, Nickelback, and then Thomas had a T rating. Pretty high T rating. Where's that? Hacker. There it is. Then boosters wise, you can pick Endpoint Ago. I'm gonna go probably round by round here. And Endpoint Ago, we can pick, I guess, something for Thomas. So I don't forget for the first round. Yes, nice grenade damage per round. We're just gonna go Kobe and Thomas. 0.1 should be highest on the team. As good as Nickelback. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Let's see if this endpoint gamble works out. But I think endpoint does have a pretty good chance of getting into the semis. I think they're gonna get wrecked by Entropic, but yeah. Thank you for watching, everyone. There's gonna be a secondary lineup in the description down below, as well as there's an alarm. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's gonna be a secondary account in the description down below, as well as a link to make your own lineup. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.